This is something that I did very quickly when we were visiting St Fagan's museum with first year, and I still remember the quality of the room that I was in, different rooms, different houses. The feeling of the space kind of etched into my memory because I started drawing that. Let's see. Yeah, I've got some pictures of it. I tried to capture, and that's the drawing, and I tried to capture the feeling. The light was coming in. It was all daylit, so there was no artificial light apart from a very small lamp there, as you can see that. And it was dark, and I sat on the floor and I started drawing these. And I was thinking about how the light comes in, and I was thinking about, for instance, in this image, you can see the light coming from this chimney, and then in this image, you can see the quality of light coming in that window. And I started drawing that, and because of that, I quite feel the space. So I thought, okay, let's do a quick study, very much similar to this, but I was just thinking, but now I'm looking at it in a more systematic way, if you like. And to do that, you can pause the video, maybe trace over some of these. But I created actually this, you've got a box, and then I try to use my phone. For instance, as you move your torch, if the sun is quite high in the sky, if it's early morning, if we think about this being the eastern wall, so that early morning the light comes in, the sun angle is quite low in the early morning, and we can do a quick study sketch of different times. And it's a good idea, I didn't do that, but it's a good idea maybe to look at summer solstice, early morning, afternoon, and winter solstice as well, early morning, afternoon, and so on, to capture the sensory quality of light and do a light study or a shadow study. And this time I'm going to use either you can use markers, or you can use just pencil or pens, or any other thing that you find. You can use a brush. You can use markers. I'm going to use this fine pointer marker to do that, and then I'm going to use maybe a highlighter to represent the light, so on. But I'm going to use this fine pointer to do the shading. And as you know, here is going to be quite dark, and as we move away from the corner, it will be lighter. Can use a marker to make it quick. Okay, as we move, we look at that. It's 9 a.m. Around, with the altitude in the UK, around July, 9 a.m. The sun is somewhere here, so therefore it's a bit higher than 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is probably the sun angle is there, and then 7 is quite low in the sky, and that is east. And 6 in the morning in July, it is pretty much low, so that the shadow actually falls on the wall. So if you do again a quick test here, and you can do that yourself with your model study as well, you can see that when the light is quite low in the sky, that falls there as it moves up as it moves up, we can see how that changes. So 6 in the morning in July, the sun is somewhere there, the angle is low, and imagine if you're designing for a bedroom or you're designing for a different place, you need to bear in mind all this as an architect. As the sun moves up throughout the day, 6, 7, 8 and so on, you get this different quality of light coming into space, and it's pretty important. And then we've got here September, or if you look at the January, or if you look at the February, the light is changing quite dramatically. Okay, the important bit was the first sketch, actually, to understand how the light comes in, and then you can do the fun bit. And now what you can do, you can decide different designs. You can look at different designs. For instance, if you look at how would it look like if you had 2 windows but the same amount of glazing. I'm putting these next to each other here. So the sense of light coming in these two, by changing one element, how that would feel. And we can create some shadow studies which look very architectural and atmospheric, but at the same time understanding the light movement using a very simple sketch model and our torch. And maybe you can do a couple of shadow studies for the main space. The technique can be applied to different studies and different shadow and light studies, but I think that is kind of more of an artistic and expressive way, but at the same time is an accurate representation of light coming into this room at different times. And then, as I said, you may go ahead and start thinking about maybe changing some of these factors, some of these design factors and design elements